So today we are learning about animal mosaics, okay? So, like I said, this is gonna be a little different from what you normally do. So with this lesson, we'll cover vocabulary. There's no quiz or anything. So not to worry about that. So, a vertebrate. Does anybody know what a vertebrate is without looking up there? Like, do y'all know what? Reese?
An animal, or like a mammal with a backbone.
Okay, good. A mammal with a backbone. So an invertebrate would be the opposite. Would be a mammal without a backbone. Can y'all tell me any examples of either one? Landon? Snake? What would snake be?
Oh, the slithery thing.
I know, but vertebrate, invertebrate.
Oh, thingamajig. So it would be a invertebrate.
You sure?
No, it'd be a vertebrate.
The vertebrate snakes, they do have a backbone, but you kind of can't see it. I mean, it's very small. All right, so what about invertebrate, Eli?
You want me to call an animal?
Yeah, any animal.
Octopus.
An octopus, yeah, exactly. Good job, Chase. You have one?
A coral.
Coral, okay. I mean, more of a mammal, but all right. So a mammal is any warm-blooded vertebrate animal, including humans, characterized by covering of hair or skin. And the female, they reproduce milk for their young. So we are all mammals, okay? So you have elephants, you have deer, you have rabbits, yeah, sure.
Dogs.
I mean, dogs, yes, they all have hair on their skin and they produce
Dove.
milk.
Dove.
Yeah, sure. So a reptile is an example of a cold-blooded vertebrate. Yes, exactly. So it's in the reptilia class, and that includes snakes, lizards, crocodiles, turtles, and tortoises, okay? So some of these animals I'm naming in here, that could be some examples of some of the animals you could use today, okay? So just keep some of these in mind. There will be a screen at the end that kind of tells you that. So a mosaic, which is what we're doing today, is a picture or pattern produced by arranging together small colored pieces of hard material such as stone, tile, or glass. So we're not using stone, tile, or glass because that would take hours. We're just using scraps of paper, okay? It's not that hard. Super simple, super easy. And then most mosaics, when they use the stone, they use what's called grout. So if any of you have tile in your house, there's two pieces of tiles, and between that tile is grout, right?
What about like marble? Is that like a piece of stone?
Sorta. I mean, if most houses, if it has marble, it's gonna be kind of like this. Like the grout in between is not gonna really be showing. I mean, it may be a little
It's
bit.
like that. It's like whenever you have tile on the floor, it's got gray on between it.
Yeah, it could be gray. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. And then a composition is the action of putting things together. So today we will be using the method like composition to arrange all these pieces together. So I do have some examples to show you. What's wrong?
My dad did a mosaic tile in the bathroom.
He did?
He did.
That's pretty cool. Is it like a picture or something?
It's abstract art.
Okay. Pretty sweet.
My Aunt Laura, in her bathroom, she has a window, but you can't. It's like up above, so you can't see through it.
Like the windows in like churches?
Yeah.
So it's kind of considered a mosaic, yeah. I mean, it's with glass.
She didn't do it, but when they bought the house, they either got it done or it was already done. But that's like she really likes that type of stuff. So that's like that's like part of the reason that they got it. There was other stuff in the house, but they liked that too. They weren't looking for it, but they liked the touch.
Okay.
And it was like pieces of like stained glass put together.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just look at the windows in the churches, right? Yeah, I'm pretty cool. So we said a mosaic is a picture that is usually small pieces that are combined together, right? So has anyone ever saw a mosaic like outside of school or where at, Orlando?
In the city.
In the city, okay.
In the church.
Church, yeah, that'd be one. Recently.
At the zoo.
Zoo, okay.
At one of my friend's houses, she has it in her, like one of her windows. It's just like
Maddie?
I was gonna say city.
Okay. Elena? museum. So, have y'all ever made a mosaic before?
No.
Has anybody? Just raise it.
Sort of.
I
What,
helped
what
my
did
dad
you
do it
use?
before.
What was your picture of?
I think we used
It was like, I don't know what it was. I don't know something. But I used it out of class.
Glass? Okay.
I helped my dad do
Yeah,
it
come
in the
here.
bathroom.
So you kind of understand how it
He used
works a little
ceramic
bit?
tiles.
Okay. Race one?
I'm gonna be
I
careful.
used them.
No.
I made one, and it was out of like rocks, but it was like flat rocks, and it was like crystal type because you could see through it and you could see the sun through it,
Okay.
and it was a picture of my name.
Let's picture your name. Right, that's pretty
I
cool.
did different
So
colors for my
today
name, so.
we are going to make mosaics, obviously. Just double check. So here's a few, I gave a few examples, so we're not gonna get into so much detail, okay? This took
Ooh.
hours, weeks, like maybe sometimes months.
Oh, maybe years.
So it could be, some of these are in detail. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
right here, this is Joseph Jewell. This is actually a park bench, and it looks like a city behind it, so it's somewhere major. So you can't really tell, but in between these pieces right here, it's the grout. So this bench is a long bench, but it's specifically a mosaic, a giant mosaic. So Gary Drusler right here, he actually made a koi pond mosaic, and if you if I was standing kind of back a little bit, it kind of looks like an actual piece
I
of
know it does.
work because you have he has the shadows all around it. He has major detail. Okay.
That
Real
was
fish in
a
it.
long time.
When I
Yeah,
first
that
looked
had
at
to
it,
take.
You can
When I
tell
first
the
looked
little
at it, it
seams
looked like
are
real fish in it.
little.
Yeah, it does the real fish. And this one is by Dwayne Williams, and I'm pretty sure this is
Oh.
in a museum somewhere. I'm not really for sure where at, but
And
I
it looks
read
like
on it.
it's been in the ground.
I think it's like supposed to be like those like flowers, like not coral, but they're like flowers that can grow in your water because.
Yeah, I think
the
it's
background
under
is
the
water.
ocean theme for this one too.
Yeah. It looks like
But these are pretty cool. Like this takes time, and these people probably make good money doing this. So it's not something they just probably volunteer to
I
do.
think it like stuff all over my
Does anybody have any questions, real quick? Okay, cool.
How did I do that?
You're about to do it, so you're gonna find out.
Oh, good.
Well,
So-
I didn't ask that.
Ask what?
I didn't ask how to do it.
You said how did they do it?
I didn't ask that.
Would So today's creation, we're just going to make mosaics with vertebrate and invertebrate animals. So you have a major options. You have many options to choose from, okay? So these are just a few examples of vertebrates: fish, turtles, snakes, and lizards. They all have backbones. Invertebrates would be snails, starfish, caterpillars, and octopuses. So you have many options to choose from, okay? If you do the same one, that's fine, okay? I would like to keep it in the class so I can see kind of how y'all did, and maybe I'm gonna use it for our board maybe soon. I don't know, just something I did, and eventually might want to use them. Who knows? So kind of make them neat, I guess. I mean, so anything. The black construction paper is your base, okay? That is the background of the picture.
What?
So yeah, so the background of the picture. So what you're gonna do first?
I would have said
So don't move. Just what you're gonna do first is you're gonna lightly draw your picture, okay?
Okay, dog fish.
You do the best you can. The thing about mosaics, you kind of can piece it together and make it how you want it. So it doesn't have to be, you can say it's a fish, but it doesn't have to be a normal fish. It can be anything you want it to be, so use your imagination. So lightly just trace your picture, and then start by gluing around it. So I actually did one this weekend to show y'all. So I promise you, I do not have that much artistic ability, and I did this.
That's cool.
So what is this? Anybody?
It's
It's
an
an
elephant.
Yeah, so
Grass.
it's an elephant on a grass hill with the mountains in the background, okay? You do not have to go in this much detail, okay? But I would like a little bit of detail, okay? So what do you notice about my squares though? Are they super big?
no.
Okay, so yes, mosaics, they're not gonna pretty much cover the whole entire paper. Like you can probably do a little bit smaller shapes, you can probably fill in a little bit more. Your pieces should not be like something like this big, okay? It should be a decent size that you can glue multiple ones on there. Because if you look at these pictures right here, and you look at these pictures, these pieces aren't that big because that's zoomed in. They're kind of smaller pieces. Chase.
How are you gonna be tracing what you're gonna do?
No, you just take on the paper, you lightly draw an image, okay, of your animal.
Like
So like behind this elephant right here, I actually kind of traced around it.
like a pencil?
Oh, I didn't trace around it. Yeah, use your pencil and just lightly draw your animal. Riesling?
Do we have like the animal the color that it actually is?
No, that's the thing about art. You gotta be creative about it, right? So elephants aren't light blue and dark blue. I mean, I just a deer. Yeah, you can use a deer. That would be what? Vertebrate or invertebrate? Vertebrate. Yes. So you can use whatever animal you want, any color you want, just so it's invertebrate and vertebrate. And most mammals, which are animals, have that. Well, if you can't draw an elephant, don't do an elephant. I mean, I just looked at it. So your materials are all your table, okay? When you start gluing your pieces, so it calls for glue sticks, but we went ahead, we had the glue sticks, so we made the glue cups, Miss Lee did. So just take your paintbrush and lightly do it, okay? So you don't need gobs of glue for this, okay? Because you want to, when you look at paper, you want to kind of move it around to where you can get it. So everything you have, hold on, everything you have at the tables, if you need a different color construction paper, it's all right here, okay? So some of the pieces in these tubs are a little too big. I mean, cut them in half, cut them in fours, whatever you need, okay? All right, let's get started. Like, what do you mean this? You don't have to do them animals. You can do any animals you want to, just so it's a vertebrate or invertebrate. It's part of a science lesson here too. Is that a mammal? Are they invertebrates? Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna make a person.
See, but the thing about that, the stencil is you can use it, but I would try to make it a little bit bigger so you can glue your pieces on. You don't want to have little tiny baby pieces. You can do a bear, just scale the bear up. So, and by the way, if you look at my elephant right here, like his legs are at least like one piece big, okay? So you want to make these where you can glue the papers on them without it like touching. So John, can you see that stencil real quick? So John can use this stencil right here, y'all, and he wanted to do this deer at first. But if you notice, the legs aren't that big, so if you can still use it, but just scale the deer up a little bit, okay? So there's going to be some things that you need to scale up and make sure that fits your paper recently.
Can we do it this way?
Yeah, just so you can fit pieces of paper on them. Strokes are fine.
Can I do this?
Yeah, that works.
Can I do a monkey?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's fine.
Can I do your idea?
That works. You can copy it. Plagiarism. Now you gotta glue the pieces to it.
Wait, can I do that?
Yeah, so in this mosaic, if you notice these mosaics also, they have lots of detail. You don't have to have lots of detail, but I would like for you to at least try to fill up your paper a little bit like I did, okay? You can have a sun, you can have anything you want to. Try to fill that paper up. Like, you don't have to have like a background. You can have a plain solid background just so it looks like a mosaic, okay?
Okay.
So fill it up, take it away. Black paper, get the one across from you. Just make sure them pieces of paper can fit in them, okay? This one doesn't matter to them. Get cut off. They're in between your tables and the buckets, and well, you can cut the pieces you need. There's milk chunk paper right here to cut, whatever you need. Yeah, if you don't see what you need, you can definitely get it from there. Just make sure your background though is black. It kind of has to be black. I would a little bit smaller.